Hi everyone, and welcome to Olapic's webinar series. My name is Becky Dutter, Senior Director of Customer Strategy and Operations, and I'll be your session moderator. Today, we'll be reviewing the multiple use cases and best practices for visual UGC galleries. First, we'll cover some housekeeping items. The audience is in listen-only mode, so if you do have any questions, and we do encourage you to ask questions, please do so in the question panel at the top left of your screen, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end. And as a reminder to anyone who hasn't been to our webinars before, we do record these webinars and we'll be sending them out to you after the session. Okay, so first I'd like to introduce you to our speakers. Althoff, an account manager and strategic advisor for a number of our enterprise customers in EMEA, and Jordan Cowell, the project manager responsible for the successful onboarding of our customers, as well as any kind of midterm projects such as gallery redesigns and refreshes. So this is a good webinar for her to join. We're often asked if adding a UGC gallery to a website is really essential and what value it will add to a customer experience. In this edition of our webinar series, our expert team will talk to you about many of the reasons why galleries are a great addition to your website. We'll start with notes about enhancing the customer journey in e-commerce with UGC galleries. We'll talk about why and how you can leverage all types of galleries. And then we'll discuss tips and best practices from planning and collecting to customizing and promoting your gallery. So I'll hand over to Marie to kick this off.
Cool, thanks, Becky. Hi, everyone. So today we're going to talk about how you can leverage UGC galleries on your e-commerce to optimize the conversion funnel with UGC. So looking at the customer journey of today's consumers, different studies prove that it is no longer a static funnel with a definite end. It's more dynamic today. Digital and social media have given customers more control and changed the way they interact and engage with companies and brands. According to a study by Digital Deloitte, around 70% of consumers are now leading their own shopping journey, and Facebook IQ Insights show that 61% of consumers want to see authentic content from brands, and they are also looking for content from their peers. Of course, we at Olapic also conducted our research, and the latest consumer trust report shows that consumers turn to UGC on every stage of the purchase path. So it's important to leverage the customer's voice in the most significant sections of the consumer journey to build awareness, drive conversion, and after all, increase brand loyalty. So what you can see here is what usually comes to mind when we think about the e-commerce journey. The expectation is usually to have a linear pathway. Someone gets inspired, they go into the brand's website, to a product page, order the product, and then receive the product. But really, it doesn't work like that in the digital world. The actual journey is not linear. Customers can get inspired, go to the website, then abandon it again. Maybe they will see an Instagram post or do a further search on Google. They could then see a Facebook ad and go back to the product page to continue researching. Often brands send out cart abandonment emails as well when their purchase wasn't completed on the website. So consideration can take time before the actual purchase decision is made. As we see across the purchase journey, there are multiple touch points where you can leverage your customer's voice and visual content. You need to bring UGC as close as possible to the point of purchase. Showing potential buyers real photos from real people that love your brand will increase on-site conversion. An ideal funnel does not only drive more conversion, but it also provides exactly what consumers want. Whether they are in the awareness, consideration, or conversion stage of the buying journey, brands can help to improve the online buying experience by understanding and addressing frictions at each stage. If you think about your website in particular, it's important to map your own customer journey to know how your users navigate through your site. Usually one might think they would go from the homepage to a category page to a product page, but with social media, emails, ads, and other marketing channels, that could not be the case anymore. So it's important to leverage the power of user-generated content as social proof on different sections of your website. Most of our clients have UGC galleries as its own gallery page, but we have learned that galleries can be leveraged anywhere on your site because the more content you show, the more engaged users are. Therefore, consider using gallery widgets not only on gallery pages, but also on your homepage, on your category pages, or on PDP. Jordan will mention later that there are different ways to activate UGC content through Olapic. We usually recommend to use galleries instead of UGC carousels because we've seen that the more content, the higher interaction rates there are. The data that you can see here shows interaction rates on PDP. And we see across every vertical, the use of gallery widgets and alt image UGC dramatically outperforms the carousel widget. And location is also a very important component about the widgets. The positioning of the widget is key when it comes to achieving better results. So make sure to display the photos and videos of your real-life customers higher on each web page and as close to the point of purchase as you can. The results that you can see here are from a client that decided to move the UGC widget from its location close to the product information rather down to the bottom of the product detail page. As you can see, there was a big drop in both interaction rate and revenue as a result of that change. Great, now I'll hand it over to Jordan so she can discuss how you can leverage multiple types of galleries on your site.
All right, thanks, Marie. So I wanted to start this section by highlighting this quote about the customer experience. We live in an experience economy and users do want to be part of that conversation. People are increasingly sharing their experiences with companies and with products. And brands can either be active participants in creating and nurturing those desired experiences or spend their time trying to react and make up for bad experiences. So Marie just talked about how the customer journey has changed. We really encourage brands to design and map their customer journey so as to go through all of the experiences that you want people to have with your brand and leading them to desired outcomes like multiple purchases and loyalty. We already know that UGC is a really strong form of social proof and users turn to UGC throughout all of the stages of their purchase journey. I want to talk a little bit more about galleries and the role that they have in these experiences. So when thinking about the different types of gallery implementations I've worked on with brands, I can break it down into two main categories. We have our shoppable galleries and our social galleries. Shoppable galleries are focused on a community-driven shopping experience, aiming to move the user through the funnel. So these are really tied to conversion and ROI. Shoppable galleries spark desire, they work as social proof, and they turn the viewer into buyers. So with Olapic, all images can be turned into shoppable content. So from this kind of gallery, you can direct your customers to your product pages, which could also house UGC related to that particular product. And you can see here in this example by Freya that viewers can actually shop the look directly from the Lightbox. This was an API implementation we did. And they can actually add all of the items to their carts via the Lightbox, see more looks by the community, and leave their comments. And then we have the social-oriented galleries. So these could highlight a seasonal campaign. They could be about social movements or social awareness. In this example here, Salomon created this campaign specifically directed to their female consumers. They encourage women to break gender norms, play outside, get dirty. And you can see the call to action at the top is being called out with the hashtag #SalomonWomen, and also a message for women to be free, be your own, and do things your own way. All right. According to our Olapic's recent customer trust report, 52% of consumers have mentioned a brand on social media. Some people share because they had a good experience, but there's also a significant number of users who post because they want to create a real connection with the brand or even become a brand ambassador. Social media helps to bridge that gap between consumers and brands. And you can use UGC galleries on your website to open that conversation. Call your fans to action, you can ask for their opinions and invite them to share. We also encourage you to get to know what your consumers' interests and passions are and post the kind of content that your brand's followers would want to see. So if your brand storytelling is also about how people live their lives, you'll build stronger relationships with them. Let your community transform and build your brand image. Your consumers appreciate being featured always, and they'll feel more a part of the brand experience. So for example, for CPG and the food vertical, you could have a gallery to help your consumers find and share cooking inspiration. They can discover recipes and how-tos based on the food that they love. There really are an endless amount of options for authentic brand alignment around UGC. So we've talked about the consumer journey, and we've seen the different types of galleries that you can leverage. Now I'd like to dive into some tips and best practices. So I'll start off this section with best practices around planning and implementing galleries on your website. When it comes to implementing a gallery on your website, there are different types of implementations that you can choose from. The themes design is perhaps the quickest and easiest option for brands to activate on site. Here you can choose a pre-built gallery from our themes library, which can be customized to your brand fonts, your brand colors, and you can really create a seamless experience on your website with these designs. This choice really alleviates a lot of the design work from the brand's point of view. If you decide to go with an advanced design, you would have full ability to customize the look and feel of your gallery and the lightbox. So you would provide the design mockups, and then depending on the development responsibilities scoped out, either Olapic or the brand development team would build that gallery. And you can also leverage our API to build your own solution. And this is perhaps the most flexible option for retrieving dynamic UGC. Now, regardless of the implementation type you choose, we will guide you through the design review and any technical questions throughout the process. So when it comes to getting everything ready for launch, your project manager will guide you and assist you through the implementation process. We'll provide you with an onboarding packet with all of the necessary details, including the deliverables that you'll need to prepare. And of course, make sure you've set up your product feed to get shoppable UGC on your website, and including Olapic's checkout pixel to get the valuable conversion and revenue metrics. Even if you've already launched your first gallery, if you have that gallery widget in your account, remember that that widget style is yours. So we can duplicate that same widget style and place that gallery across different pages on your website. And this is something I always try to encourage my brands to do. You can customize the call to action so that it's more geared towards a specific campaign, for example. And you can also change the content sourcing so that the right content is being funneled in for that different version of your gallery. Now, if you're interested in duplicating the gallery experience and using it across other pages, just reach out to your project manager and they'll help you get the most out of your design. Now I'll talk a little bit about collecting and curating content to surface your best visuals for your gallery. So within the platform itself, you can create different collectors to bring in the right content. You can create evergreen hashtags, unique hashtags, according to your brand goals. You can also combine the different rules when creating those collections to make sure that you collect the right type of content. What we recommend is using your @mentioned and a hashtag to collect the content. And it's also critical to approve content regularly and send your rights requests via the platform. Now, after content has been collected and curated to surface the highest quality images, Olapic will use your product feed to tag that media to specific streams. So a stream or a tag can be a product or a service or a category. It can even be a characteristic of the product, like a color, for example. This step in the process is what is going to enable shoppable UGC on your galleries, and it allows you to create filters, like you can see here, to display that kind of category-specific content. So in this example, you can see that IKEA actually has filters for users to look at products from different spaces within their home. So we have living room, kitchen, bedroom, storage, lighting, textiles, etc. Now, we also have brands that use these filters to separate brand or employee content versus authentic customer UGC, or CPG or food brands, for example, to highlight recipe information and things like that. We have some apparel brands that actually filter content for women versus for men, or from different collections and different seasons as well. And then some ideas for the beauty vertical. You can think about filtering by type of product. So products for eyes, products for lips, foundations or concealers, and so on. And we actually even have some beauty brands that have created filters to show images of people with different eye colors or hair colors, for example, to kind of show the users how they can achieve that particular look. So I really encourage you to use those filters to your advantage. All right, now I'll hand it off to you, Marie.
Thanks, Jordan. Cool. In this section, we go through a few great examples from brands that have actually customized their gallery to create a very unique experience for their users with UGC galleries. So, to create a more authentic and relatable shopping experience, look for creative ways to include consumers' visuals in your storytelling and throughout your website. Design will play naturally a very big role in attracting consumers' attention and boosting interactions. The color scheme, the layout, the call to action, it all should be designed in a way that is both on brand and engaging. As we can see in the next examples, the galleries look all very different from one another by customizing the design and look and feel. It is also very important to highlight your call to action. As Jordan said, we recommend using the @mention and an evergreen or unique hashtag depending on your goals. You should include that CTA at the top of your gallery and also on your Instagram bio, for example. Make sure to let people know what kind of content you want to receive. Something else you could do is to link from the gallery to your Instagram account by placing the link in your @mention. That's a really cool example by May.com. Yeah, we talked about the importance of building your community. One way to do that is to feature your best fans and brand advocates in a special place in your UGC gallery. OPI, for example, features their favorite UGC of the month with the customer's caption above the UGC gallery. Connect with influencers that are relevant to your brand. Look at their lifestyle, the things they like, their interests and motivations. You can collaborate with them to create content for your brand. This example here matches fashion. They've decided to use a social gallery featuring brand ambassadors and influencers at the top of the page in a very custom-made carousel design. Customers can shop anything that catches their eye straight from the UGC gallery. In only a few clicks, they can select the clothing size, quantity, and add items for their shopping bag without even leaving the social gallery. We started this webinar by talking about the consumer journey and why it is important to have galleries with UGC to enhance that purchase journey, spark desire, boost engagement, and drive conversion on e-commerce. Now we will go through some ideas to promote your gallery and UGC on different marketing channels. It's not enough to have a gallery page if your users will not be able to find it easily. To facilitate the full journey, make sure to include a small gallery on your homepage and include links to it on your navigation menu. That way, if they land on your homepage from search results on Google, for example, they will be able to navigate and see more content from other users like them. Emails are also always a good channel to showcase UGC and feature your engaged customers as social proof. You can link to a social gallery page if your goal is to receive more uploaded content from your customers, for example. Or you could link to a category page with a UGC gallery related to those products. Or you could directly drive them to the product pages if you want to inspire your customers at the direct point of purchase. Last but not least, we all know that social media is the place where most of the UGC is generated. Therefore, we always recommend that brands should make sure to include a call to action on their Instagram bio to let the followers also know what they can, how they can be featured and what type of content the brand is actually looking for. We recommend to publish posts and stories on a regular basis, which features the best UGC you've gathered recently. And always credit the user for their photos, for them to share on their own feeds and stories. You can also invite them to see more content and shop from your social galleries, like in the Dr. Martin story. Highlight also the stories after the 24 hours so they can remain available to see in the pin below your brand's Instagram bio. And also don't forget about paid social. You can use UGC instead of stock photos to promote your products and categories, and this usually has even higher results than brand imagery. If any of the above has inspired you, feel free to reach out to your account manager or your project manager for further information. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, both of you. Very insightful. Some really great customer examples there. If you do want to see more examples, as Marie said, please reach out to your account manager. We have plenty to share. Before we kick off the Q&A, I would really like to take a quick poll from the audience here to help us better assess what type of content would be valuable for future webinars. As you know, we run a series of webinars. Hopefully some of you have attended some before, but we're definitely interested to get feedback and know a bit more about what could be useful in the future. So if you could just fill out this quick survey, we will gather the results afterwards, and hopefully it will impact future webinars. I'll give you a couple of seconds. I'm going to assume that we're done. Potentially. Please continue if you haven't done so, but I think we'll kick off with some questions. As I said earlier, there's a Q&A function at the top left of your screen. So if you'd like to ask any questions, please feel free to do so there, and I'll double check them as we go through. We do have a couple already, so I'll kick off with those and I'll hand them over to one of our speakers to answer. So the first is, can I create a new gallery each time I run a new campaign, such as a product launch or a seasonal promotion? That's probably a good one for Marie to answer.
Yeah, of course. I think Jordan also mentioned that, but when we have the widgets in the Olapic account, we can just basically duplicate them, and you can place that widget then wherever on the site, on the homepage, or if you have a specific campaign landing page, and then display the content that you want on that widget accordingly, with help of the moderation service, for example. So yes, that's possible.
Great. Great, quick and easy. Next question, can we leverage galleries outside of the web experience? So I assume that's kind of offline promotional activities. A good one from Marie again, I think.
Yeah, of course. We see a lot of brands actually using also inspirational galleries in store on screens, for example. You can pull the content from the content engine also on your screens if you have them in the store, on loyalty events or any kind of events where you want to display inspirational content. So definitely recommended to have those galleries also outside of the online consumer journey.
Amazing. Okay. Can I update and add more filters as I get more UGC? Good question for Jordan.
Hi, everyone. So yes, you can update the filters. You can add more or delete existing filters pretty easily. It's done via the platform. You're able to create manual filters, or the filters themselves can also be kind of based off of categories within the product feed.
Okay. Great. And we have one final question. So if you do have any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to do so in the next couple of seconds. How many different widget examples are there for me to choose from? I guess that's from our standard kind of out of the box widgets. Jordan, good one for you.
Yeah, sure. So if you want to choose from an existing design, we do have our themes library tool that I mentioned, which is sort of we have a couple of best-in-class templates that you can choose from, and we'll provide you with a dynamic sort of widget preview tool to look at all your options. For galleries, I'm looking at the tool right now. We have options A through E. So there are a couple of different ones you can choose off of for the format. And then of course the colors, fonts, and text would be adapted to suit the specific brand.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, we don't have any more questions that have come through. So sadly, we've come to the end of our webinar. As I said earlier, we have recorded this, so keep an eye on your inbox for a follow-up email, which will contain the recording. You can share it with anybody in your company that may find this of interest. So on behalf of myself and Jordan and Marie and the rest of Olapic, thank you for joining, and we hope you have a really great day.